how have your friendships and like your inner circle help you to kind of navigate all of the stressful times and hard times, which is like all the time?
All the time.
I know.
They talk me off the ledge.
Yeah.
And however they know, because I don't know how they know, because it's not like I'm always reaching out. I might be circling the drain in the comfort of my own bed. Like I can't. So I don't know if Dee's sending, messages to my friends, but they have always known. So even before Dee, I was doing this movie in Montreal, and they were screwing with my dates. I was just doing nothing for weeks at a time when I should have been on my honeymoon. But I had to take the job to pay for my wedding, the first wedding, and I was just painfully lonely, and I was purposely sort of othered in the production, and no matter how hard the cast was like, "You're not othering her." There were members of the production that were like, because I dared to get married, even though they knew I took the job to pay for the wedding, they had some scheduling problems. I'm like, can't you just move it? And I'm like, 350 people? No. On a location? What? No, I can't move it. And so they decided to punish me for that. And I was very, very lonely. And it was getting kind of like dark. Like, when the loneliness kind of kicks over into something a little bit more dangerous. And all I knew is that my girlfriend, Essence Atkins, called, and she was like, I don't think you're okay. And I just said, I'm not. It felt like a few minutes later, but she was in LA. I'm in Montreal, Canada. She was there it felt like within a few hours. She was there same day. And I remember her coming in and opening up my curtains. Because I was like on this cycle of like eating pasta all day, taking a sleeping pill to just like go to sleep at like 6 o'clock and just round the clock, just not leaving
rinse and repeat.
Yeah, not leaving my hotel room. And she was like, I'm coming to get you. We're going to figure this out. And she's had that knack. And luckily she lives down the street from me now. So she'll just be like, just thought I might need to stop by. And I'm like, you know. But they all do that. And I've been very, very lucky to have great friends. Like Kevin Hart and I were just talking today, where I was like, when I showed up on the set of Think Like a Man 2 in Vegas, and I told Kevin what I was going through, and he was like, "Ooh, okay, well, we're going to just make Vegas the best time ever." And I was like, okay. So sometimes it's like a Kevin, like where I'm going to party my way into wellness. Though it seems a little backwards, but for me, it helps. Just being social helps. I like to go all the way deep, dark, inward, or just having people who check on me constantly.
And we have like those different friends who give us different things, right? So you have a friend that is going to make sure if you're feeling down, they're going to take you out for a good time and you're going to laugh. And laughing is healing and fun and light when things are really difficult and heavy. And then you have that friend that you're going to talk to and you're going to be vulnerable and open up and you're going to cry it out. And that's a release of energy. That's letting air out of your bubble or your balloon, right? For us, I feel like our friends are like family. We spend so much time with our friends, and you get to pick your friends. And I feel like they serve as our huge, major support system. And we spend most of our time with our friends. And I feel like even having friends for a long time can be beneficial because they've kind of been with you through all the different phases, and they never lost oxygen as you kind of grew and changed. They're kind of having their own journey, growing and changing. I feel like you've been through a lot of ups and downs and trials and tribulations. How is your perspective of friendship, or do you have how has it changed over the years to kind of reach the place where you are now?
For a long time, as long as I can remember, my friends were a bigger part of my life than my family. And my family they were more of like afterthoughts, and my friends were everything. Their parents had a bigger space in my life than my own parents. And somewhere around my first marriage, the friendship balance and the family balance, I found a way to have them both, because nobody understood. relationship challenges, quite like my mom. And I had spent so much of my life like, I don't want to be like her. I don't want to end up like that. And I was like, so I'm here. I've ended up exactly in the same place. And I could understand her better. I could relate to her better. And my friends had always had that. Like, I didn't know my friends were secretly meeting with my mom just with their own lives. They're like, you have an amazing mom.
Wow.
How come you don't take advantage of your own mother? And now I have much more of a balance, but they're everything. Without my friends, I don't survive. I'm not here. And I'm not even meaning that with any extra sauce on it. It's just the facts. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned recently, I started seeing a life coach guru. I don't know. He's this dude, cool guy named Greg. He's my Greg. So he said one of the best gifts that we can receive and that we can give is is managing expectations. He's like, we have expectations for strangers that are up here, and we're constantly disappointed. You have the ability to manage expectations, to move them around at any point in the day. You have expectations for your family members who are quite consistent, but you set these really wide expectations and they fail,
making it
over
impossible
and over.
for them to meet them.
Why don't you just set expectations that they can actually meet? You manage your reaction, and you're also able to put people in a position to win, at least sometimes in your eyes. And then you can also do the same for yourself. You have high expectations for yourself. Right. So I get that. You hear something in therapy and you're like, oh, I got to tell everybody. So like, I remember telling Dee, like immediately, I was like, yo. Expectations. And so now we could be across the room and he can see me like with a member of my family or somebody. And he's just like,
oh.
And then I'm like, okay.
I love that for you. I was going to ask you at the end of our conversation what the greatest piece of advice for you has been. Not that this is your greatest piece of advice, but it's mine. I actually was talking to Pastor John Gray, who is a good friend of ours, and he was talking about my expectations that I was placing on other people, primarily Russell. He's like, you can't have, like, I don't have expectations. I mostly don't have expectations for other people. I have boundaries. I think that that's my way of being able to kind of dictate what I will and will not accept in my life, what type of behaviors and treatments and whatever the case may be. But my expectations are not there because when people don't meet or in the past haven't been able to meet and reach my expectations, I would get really disappointed and I would get angry and I would wonder why is this person not getting it? Why are they not able to think like me and do things the way I want them to be done and the way that I would do them? Because they're not me. And because I'm pretty tough, like I think I'm a pretty tough cookie. I'm pretty tough on myself and I do have high expectations for myself, but it's okay when you're able to manage them, like you said, and hold yourself accountable and set realistic goals and all of that. Then you don't feel like they're never within reach. But with other people, I have no idea what to expect from anybody at any point. And so I'm hardly disappointed.
Oh, I stay in a place of disappointment and rage that a stranger has somehow not met my level of expectation. And then, you hear yourself say it out loud enough and then you're like, why do I have expectations for strangers? Because we will be sharing space. So if I go on a set, it might be day one on a set. I have expectations that are no production has ever met, but I still have them. And I am unyielding.
Wow.
And it leaves no space. And so I've been actively trying to unwind my rage. And so much of it is tied into expectations not being met. and the level of rage I have for my spouse when I have, you know, an expectation that is unreasonable. It's not reasonable for me. It's not reasonable. I've literally never seen anyone on the planet meet the expectations I have set for this man, and I stay annoyed that he is not somehow a mind reader, way better than me. I don't know how he doesn't think of the follow-up to the follow-up to the follow-up question. I'm enraged that there's no pivot to the pivot to the pivot. You can't sustain that.
No.
And I don't want to be angry all the time. You know?
Hi, friends. I'm here to tell you about my go-to travel bag, the Base Weekender. There's so many things to love about this bag. It comes with a zipper in the back, which is really cool because there's like a little compartment. You can stack it on top of your carry-on bag and roll it so it doesn't fall all over the place, which I love. And when you're not using that zipper function, you could just zip it up and then it acts as a patch. It helps me to stay organized when I'm packing for the weekend. You know, when you have to be very concise and you need just a special spot for each little item, you get that with the Base bag, which is one of my favorite qualities about it. The Base Weekender has over 30,000 5-star reviews, and for good reason. We all love this bag. Right now, Base is offering my listeners 15% off your first purchase by visiting basetravel.com/Nina Westbrook. Go to basetravel.com/Nina Westbrook for 15% off your first purchase. That's BEIS travel.com/Nina Westbrook. You know what's so interesting is listening to you say that, which I want to get into like a positive thing. I feel like we've been in the trenches here today, which is good because I like to be real. And this is why I really wanted to have you come on. And I wanted to talk to you because I knew we could have like a real genuine conversation and be authentic. So as it pertains to our expectations, like for me, the thing that drives me to stay out of the rage area is my lack of not ease. I don't like to make mistakes. And therefore the thing that comes along with that is apologizing. So I don't like to let that rage take over me, the anger take over me, because then I'm going to wind up doing something that I'm going to have to apologize for later, which I don't want to do. So
okay, clearly we were separated at birth. I hate making mistakes. I hate making unforced errors. I hate it. The level of rage I will have for myself with an unforced error. I'm talking just playing words with friends against the app. Like I will be in such a rage if I didn't take the time to really scan the board and really, like, it's a game, child. You're playing against yourself. Like, what is wrong with you? But the level of rage I have for mistakes, unforced errors, not thinking ahead to the follow-up and I don't know what to do with it. It's just it just bubbles over. And the idea of apologizing, like when I screw up, I actually I don't mind, like, my bad. Now It might be a my bad. It may not be a full blown apology with a reference page and a bibliography, but I'm gonna acknowledge I screwed up, you know, but it's probably gonna be like, my bad. And I feel like you got all of
you got what you're gonna get, and you know that means I'm sorry.
Yeah, like if this is as much me on my back as you're going to get, but I am acknowledging I have, did something wrong. But I hate it. I hate it, and there's so many times I have found myself apologizing. I was going to say erroneously, but maybe not, because it led to happiness. Apologizing for being unyielding. And having unrealistic expectations without it sounding like a diss. Like, I'm sorry, my expectations are so high and you're just consistently failing, which is not really an apology. You're basically saying you're not as good as me. And like, sorry about that. But trying to find my way through, and I take little wins, like apologizing. That is just a bad vibe in here. And I have a lot I contributed a lot to this bad vibe, this bad energy that we're both trying to live in. yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. And then it's like, there's that thing in my head that was like, you said it? You said I'm sorry? And I don't feel well sometimes. I feel physically ill sometimes. Wow. But when I let it sit and I get to the end and I see the reaction, I'm like, okay, that was the right decision. Dang it. And then I've just slowly given myself permission to apologize and mean it in real time. Not one of those delayed ones, which I'm very good for a delayed apology. After much thought and research, I've discovered I was in fact wrong. No, like in real time, like, my bad. I misspoke, or I was really wrong on that. Yeah, I was really wrong on that. I'm sorry, my bad.
Do you find though, when you do that in real time, then things don't become as like bigger than they need to be? Then everyone has so much more respect and they can move on quickly and it's not even a thing tomorrow. Yeah,
no, absolutely. And like no one will remember tomorrow because you addressed it in real time and you put your whole chest into it. And at first it is a fake it till you make it. Like no part of it felt real and organic or authentic to me. And they were like, you fake it every day at work. You fake it for people all the time. You don't even know them.
Right.
Why can't you fake it till you make it
with someone you love?
That you love. And then it went very quickly from faking it to, oh, I am really apologetic. And I recognize how far an apology goes. And I recognize how respectful an apology is. For someone who hangs everything off of respect, I wasn't giving it. And the second I started giving it, I started getting it in spades that I couldn't have ever predicted.
Wow. That is huge. Hi friends, I'm here to talk to you about America's best value meal kit. Drum roll please. Every Plate. It's a lot more affordable than other meal kits, 25% cheaper than grocery shopping, and 50% cheaper than going out for a casual meal. My family's latest favorite is the garlicky white flatbread, and it's so amazing and easy to make with the kids. Every Plate has 26 delicious and affordable meals and recipes that change weekly, and each of the meals is fully customizable. Plus, you can add more options, including up to 22 sides, lunches, snacks, and desserts if that's not enough. Get started with Every Plate for just $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/podcast and entering code 49 Nina Westbrook. That's up to $110 value. There's so many gems and nuggets of wisdom that you've shared with us already thus far. Let's talk about marriage. Okay, I have one last question. I know this is so good. Okay, last question and then we'll wrap up. I want to talk about a positive thing, like a positive note. We talked about conflict, dealing with conflict in our marriages. You guys are so cute. And I mean, I think Russell and I are very cute. When like a couple is like very cute, just, you can see it and that's you guys. And so what is it that makes you guys good and great as a couple? Like, share some tips and tricks for everyone listening.
Well, I think I came into his life when he needed fun and adventure. And he came into my life when I needed nurturing. And it just sort of balanced. But part of what I bring is a damn good time. And we really, really enjoy hanging out with each other. And he's become a part of the crew. He can hang with the crew just as easily as he can hang with his own crew. And he is with the shits, as the kids say. Like, he's up for an adventure, no matter if I'm like, the Bosches want to hike Machu Picchu, like on Tuesday. Like, are we in? Like, what are we trying to do? And he says yes more than he says no. And he's just open. And he got to a place where he didn't feel out of control or out of sorts or not like himself, trying, different restaurants that didn't have chicken fingers, which was a huge thing. Like,
wow.
Like something as simple as like when LeBron came, well, actually the big three came. So LeBron changed his, like how he ate. The man had never had a salad. That's not an exaggeration.
Wow.
That was what, 2010. He had not had
quite
a
recently.
salad. Yeah, hadn't had a salad. Didn't like green stuff. And like, I'm dead ass. And so like Bron got him on a different health kick of like, he's like, I can't believe this is what you've been putting into your body and you've been performing at this level. Like maybe we can, you know, address some of the injuries if we address what you're putting in your body. And then Adrian Bosch is a finicky eater. And so she was like, these are the things that I've tried that I, you know, can stomach and that are, you know, okay with a more limited palate at this stage. And so that's like how we got into sushi. I'm like, I love going to sushi restaurants. I love every part of it. And Dee was like, kill me now. And then he was like, oh, wait, this is kind of awesome. And I am into the vibe. And I am into the folks who like sushi restaurants. And this is kind of amazing. And then like every step of the way, like no matter where we traveled, if we were in, you know, Chengdu, China, or we were in the south of France, we were just up for adventure. Like, let's try a restaurant off the beaten path and drink whatever the locals are drinking. And let's get into like a show that people are watching on the other side of the world. And we are okay with subtitles. And let's just get into it. And it made him, he blossomed in a different way. And he blossomed not just for me, but for the world. And with me, going through life knowing somebody has my back and is protecting me and is loving me no matter what, it allowed me to open up. And I didn't have to be this like caged animal that's just pacing back and forth. I was able to just be comfortable in the love. And we had to put each other through hell to get there. But when we got there, we're not turning back. This feels so good. And that's how we just kind of keep it, you know, alive. And it's just being open to trying different things and being open to hang out with different folks. You know what I mean? Different conversation. Let's expand the circle. Let's expand what we can all offer each other. Yeah, it's funny because I remembered when I thought you guys were cutest was at Mia and Dee Wright's wedding. You guys were like sitting near us, like behind us or next to us. And you guys were like, it felt like you were so quiet. And then the first sounds, I think it was YG, like Stark came on.
That's it.
And then you both like jumped up and were going for your life. And I was like, yes. Yeah. It was like, you know, when you don't get to see everybody's joy and everybody's like, I knew him as a competitor, you know, and, you know, I know you guys as UCLA people, which, you know, I love a Black UCLA person. I will cheer till the socks come off.
Go Bruins.
But like when you guys jumped up and you were so in sync, like you were just in sync and it didn't look like 5, 6, 7, 8. Like,
oh my gosh.
You know, listen, me and Dee also believe in choreography, but you guys, that was real and authentic. And it was just like, oh, that's a different level. I want to get to that level, that level of connectedness where it was like you guys had a party of two in the middle of a sea of people. I don't even know if I ever mentioned that. Like,
no, I've never heard that, but it's so wild because that's how it feels. All the time. Like anytime we're together and out, it doesn't matter how many people, and especially if there's a dance floor, it's always like a party of two. And it's not that we're not open. It's just that we're happy in our space. We're just so happy in our space and comfortable. I think we've been together, I don't know how many,
Did you guys met in college or before,
16 years. We met. I actually met Russell when I was in high school, visiting UCLA as a senior in high school or junior. I think a senior.
And he's the same age, or you guys?
He's a year before me.
Oh, you saw him on your visit.
We actually hung out when I was in high school. He was like rocking the cradle. It was very friendly. And then as soon as I got there, we started dating. But it's been like a journey. Like, it's so cute. I love that you and Dwayne came together when you both needed what the other person was dishing out. We kind of had just an evolution of growth. We grew into like adults and real humans, you know, outside of our little college bubble and everything together. So that's kind of been the theme of our relationship, is just being open to anything and knowing that nothing is going to be constant, and we're always going to be evolving and changing, and being open and okay with that, like doing it together rather than, you know, grasping and clawing to kind of bring the other person where we are. And that's what has kind of made our relationship work. So
it's beautiful. Like, as just a creepy fan paying attention to the other tables at the wedding, because we were like, I don't know this song. At this point, I was not as familiar with YG. Perhaps
that was a while ago.
It was a while ago, and I was like, but then like all the LA folks, like you guys were going, but you guys were just so locked in. Oh. And it's funny because we mentioned it. I think we were just dancing on our balcony. We like to play Ox King, and like, okay, but what about this song? What about this song? So we're playing like Ox King on our balcony, and whatever he played, we were just slow dancing to. Mm-hmm. And we were just in our own little world on our little patio. No one's paying attention except maybe the dog. And I was like, this is like Russell and Nina at Dee Bright and Mia's wedding, when like they were in their own bubble, and you guys had a whole world. And I think it is important though, like in a marriage, to have your own bubble that is impenetrable. And you got, like it's nice to see people lead by example.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Hi friends, I'm here to tell you about my favorite full body deodorant. It's called Lumi. Lumi comes in a variety of fresh, bright scents like their lavender sage or their toasted coconut. My personal favorite is the lavender sage. Lumi is clinically proven to last up to 72 hours, and I can tell you I've been using it all summer long, and it lasts. Lumi truly is the first of its kind, coming in a body wash, wipes, or a squeeze cream tube. My favorite personally is the solid deodorant stick. I love the fact that it's created by an OBGYN, which means you know that you can trust it. Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like the mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for my listeners, new customers get $5 off a Lumi Starter Pack with code Nina Westbrook at lumideodorant.com. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you visit lumideodorant.com and use the code Nina Westbrook.
That's why I feel like we have so much in common. I feel like you're you, he is him, I'm me, Russell is him. And together we have like the freedom within our relationships to be whoever we want to be. And yet we still are working together and achieving a goal and helping each other reach our dreams. So that's what
it's a choice every day. And there's some days I'm like, I'm clocking out early today. But most days I'm like, I want to do overtime with you. Like, this is like, he's like, it's like having the most fun sleepover that never ends. And then sometimes you're like, I probably should go home to my parents. But he's just the most fun person. Like, I really enjoy his company.
That's
I think
great.
he really enjoys mine.
I love that for you.
He's cute.
Okay. I feel like we need to go outside of this and just hello,
like
hang out.
Date night.
Or
just us night.
Yeah. Well, you would be my date.
Well, naturally.
Yeah.
Because you find rage in the same things, like apologies.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe we'll go on a trip. We'll be, don't threaten me. I know, don't threaten you with a good time.
Listen, we will go. We will show up. You invite the Wades. We are coming. We are coming. We'll bring a cooler too. So you let us know.
Okay. Thank you.
No, thank you.